TOA community, Robert Linkul, trainingtheolderadult.com, here to answer your rucking questions. This is Ruck question number 6. How often should they ruck per week, and how far should each ruck be? This is a great question because there's a little personal component to it. I'm going to tell you my schedule, and then let me suggest what I think most people should do, and then I'll tell you about my schedule, okay? What I think most people should do is at least twice a week get out for a ruck, upwards of daily. Now, what I mean by that is if you don't currently go out and go on daily walks, then twice a week, Monday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Friday, or something like that, where you're getting a good 2, maybe even 3 days in between rucks. You're carrying a very light weight if you're just starting, 5 to maybe 10 pounds. Put on your vest or put on your backpack and off you go. Go out for 10 minutes, come back for 10 minutes, you're done. Do that twice a week. The next week, go to 15 and 15 minutes. The next week, go to 20 and 20, and build up to an hour, okay? If you can do that twice a week, an hour twice a week, the average person can walk at about 20 minutes per mile. If you go for an hour, that's 3 miles every time you go out. You go out twice a week, you're getting 6 miles of rucking in per week. That's great. If you could build up to that in a month or two, that's fantastic. If you want to go longer than a mile, I would encourage you, number one, get a rucksack so you're not doing that shoulder stress of the vest, but start to go more often rather than further. Okay, because the more regular you are with this, the better. And it's not about carrying a lot of load, it's about carrying a moderate amount of load for a very long distance or more occurrences. If you do currently walk daily, or at least every other day, then I would wear your vest or your ruck for 10 minutes of that ruck. Go out 5 minutes, come back, take off the weight, finish your walk. And do that for a week. And then the next week, go for 10 minutes out and back, drop off your weighted vest or your backpack, continue the rest of your walk. And build up to the point where every time you go out for your 45-minute walk, you can wear your vest or your backpack comfortably for the whole 45 minutes. Now, I get people that are like, well, I don't do loops. I do a loop. I don't do out and backs. Just to introduce this into your life, just do it this way. Start your timer, walk away from your house for 5 minutes, turn around, come back, take your weight off, leave it at the house, and now go do your loop, right? Or go walk for the rest of the time. Just do that out and back in the beginning. Do that for 2 or 3 weeks. Get your body used to carrying load, and then you can just have that weight and go on a regular basis, okay? So I would say at least every other day, but if you could build up to where you're doing like 5 or 6 shorter ruck walks per week, that's fantastic. Now, what do I do personally? I lift 4 days a week. I ruck the other 3 days. I don't have any days in my week where I'm doing both rucking and weightlifting, okay? It's one or the other. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, those are my ruck days. Tuesday is a shorter ruck typically. So for me, that's about 5 miles. And I'm gonna go a tiny bit heavier. I put an extra 10 pounds in my ruck. And I do about 5 miles with that. And typically I'll seek more hills for this. On Thursday, I go back to my regular training weight, which is 30 to 35 pounds. And I carry that for about 7 miles. So it's a little lighter, but a little further. And then I'll keep that same weight. And on Saturdays, those are my long days. I'll do upwards of 8 to 15, just depending on what I'm doing. I did 8 yesterday. I'm very sore from it, but I seeked hills. I took the most hill influenced or hill occurring route that I have in my neighborhood. I hit every hill that I could find. And 8 miles with a fast pace, I was attacking this and I just smoked my body. So you can be really creative with how you do your rucks. They could be completely flat and go for distance or go for speed. And then other days where you're like, I'm only going out for 30 minutes, but I'm going to do all the hills in my neighborhood and really make it challenging and have fun. Select certain days to do certain things, but always give yourself enough time in between to rest and recover and undulate your load maybe. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, carry 10 pounds. On Saturdays, only carry 7.5. It's a little lighter, but I'm going to do an extra mile or two, something along those lines. If you want something more personalized, you could always find a coach like myself or look on goruck.com and see some of the schedules and the programs they've built to help people build up. But it does keep things a little more interesting, a little more challenging on your body to undulate your distances, your load, your tempos, etc. Comments, questions, hit me up down below. If not, I'll see you in the next one.